Nehanda and the tradition of resistance. Unlike all other Mondoro mediums, Nehanda is believed to have two separate, equally legitimate traditions of mediums, one in Mazoe, near the capital, Harare, and the other in Dande. A medium of the Mazoe Nehanda, a woman named Charwe, was a major leader of the 1896 rebellion against the new colonial state. When the rebellion failed, she was amongst the last of the leaders to be captured. Together with another leader of the rebellion, the medium of Kagubi, she was sentenced to death and hanged. A powerful and prolific oral tradition grew up around her name, her part in the rebellion, and especially the last moments of her life after she was condemned, her refusal to accept conversion to Christianity, her defiance on the scaffold, and her prophecy that my bones will rise again to win back freedom from the Europeans. In time, the career of the medium and the healing and protective powers associated with the spirit became inextricably fused. In songs, in verse, and in myth, Nehanda came to represent the inevitable but so long awaited victory of the Shona over their oppressors. As a hero of the nationalist resistance, she was rivaled only by Chaminuka, a Mondoro or royal ancestor of the Zezuru peoples of central Zimbabwe, who came to be regarded as her brother. In many of the new versions of old myths that grew out of the years of struggle, this brother and sister pair are characterized as the original founders of the Shona nation. In recognition and perpetuation of this tradition, two of the early ZANU operational zones in the northeast were named Nehanda and Chaminuka. But it was not only in myth that Nehanda's authority was recognized. She also appears as an inspirational figure in many important works of Shona literature published since the 1950s. In the novel Feso by Solomon Mutsairo, first published in 1957 and later banned by the Rhodesian Front government, the Vanyai, who represent the enslaved Shona people, regard Nehanda as their protector and liberator. Where is our freedom, Nehanda? Won't you come down to help us? Our old men are treated like children in the land you gave them, merciful Creator. In the poem Sokorisinam Soro, published in 1958 by Herbert Chitepo, president of ZANU until his assassination in 1975, an old warrior bemoans the destruction of the Shona nation. The sun of kingship is setting. The rising wind is screaming a tale of death. The rivers are dried up, leaving only pools filled with the corpses of the dead. Where are our heroes of old? Where is Chaminuka and Nehanda? Where are our tribal spirits? Our complaining and our prayers, have they failed to come where you are? In view of Nehanda's national reputation, it is no surprise that when the Zanla guerrillas discovered their good fortune in having a medium of this spirit, the most recent representative of this long tradition, active in their operational zone, they should have urged her to join the struggle. But the white administration was also conscious of its traditions. The attempt by native commissioners to capture the mediums who had led the 1896 rebellion had been described by a number of local historians and was no more forgotten by government administrators as by their old adversaries. In the late 1960s, an administrative assistant in the Urungwe district to the east of Dande reported his belief that a spirit medium in his area had knowledge of guerrilla activity. Charges against this medium were eventually dropped, but memories had been stirred. A nationwide survey of mediums of all kinds was begun. As the first spate of attacks intensified into a war, so attempts were made to use the mediums to counteract the influence of the guerrillas. Tape recordings of mediums denouncing the guerrillas while supposedly in trance were broadcast from aeroplanes. Leaflets bearing similar messages were scattered all over the operational zones, and one of these leaflets read, "To all the people of the land, some of you have been helping terrorists who came to cause disturbances to you and your families. Your spirits have told your spiritual medium that they are disappointed because of your action. Mondoro, your tribal spirit has sent a message to say that your ancestral spirits are very dissatisfied with you. As a result of this, there has been no rain. It is only the government which can help you, but you have to realize your obligation to help the government also." Though opposed to each other in every other way, the guerrillas and the government forces were united in the seriousness with which they regarded the ancestors and their mediums.